In this video, we're going to have a look at sample space in probability questions. So the sample space is a set of all possible outcomes based on the experiment being performed. When we refer to sample space in probability, we use the symbol S. So let's have a look at some example sample space questions. In the first example, I'm going to list the sample space for an experiment where I roll a standard six-sided dice. So my sample space, and I'm going to use my S for sample space, is going to be any possible outcome. Now when I roll a dice, I'm either going to roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 or a 6. So my sample space for my experiment when I roll a six-sided dice is going to be a number from 1 to 6. In the second example, I'm going to list the sample space for an experiment where you draw a picture card from a standard deck of playing cards. Now my sample space is going to be the picture card options from the standard deck, and it's going to be a king, a queen, or a jack. So each standard deck of cards is going to have the picture cards king, queen, or jack. So if I'm going to draw from a standard deck and it's a picture card, then it either has to be a king, a queen, or a jack. In the last example, I want to list a sample space for an experiment where you're selecting letters from the word astronaut. So my sample space is going to be the different letters in the word. So it's going to be A, S, T, R, O, N. Now for my second A, I've already included it before, so I only included once in my sample space. So I move on to my next letter, U and T. So the sample space, when I'm selecting a letter from the word astronaut, is going to be A, S, T, R, O, N, U, T. Remember, I only list each letter once in the sample space. So if the letters appear more than once in the word, you're only listed once. So there are 3 examples of how to list the sample space for a given experiment.